So, what if getting your driver's license also meant you had the power to save a life? Today, we're going to look at a simple but really powerful idea that's doing just that, connecting the freedom of the open road with the skills to handle a medical emergency. But let's make this personal for a second. Imagine it. If someone collapsed right here, right in front of you, would you know what to do? It's a tough thought, isn't it? For a lot of us, if we're being honest, the answer is probably no. And that single moment of hesitation, it can be the difference between life and death. That hesitation? Well, it points to a huge gap in our collective safety net. Every single year in Europe, about 400,000 people have a sudden cardiac arrest outside of a hospital. But tragically, fewer than 1 in 10 survive. And here's the crucial fact. Bystander CPR can double or even triple a person's chance of survival. The problem is, most of us just aren't trained.
So how big is this training gap we're talking about? Well, a recent survey across 49 European countries found that a staggering 61% do not require any mandatory CPR training for new drivers. That means the majority of people getting their license are hitting the road without this basic life-saving skill. It's just a massive missed opportunity.
But what if we could close that gap using a system that's already in place? This brings us to a brilliantly simple solution that's gaining a ton of momentum across Europe, an idea that literally puts life-saving skills out there on the road. So this big idea comes from a really powerful team-up between two major organizations, the European Resuscitation Council, that's the ERC, and the European Driving Schools Association, the EFA. They've joined forces to champion this Learn to Drive, Learn CPR initiative. And what exactly are they pushing for? For every new driver to learn what's called basic life support, or BLS for short. And look, this isn't just about chest compressions. It's a course that teaches all the essentials, from CPR for adults and kids to how to handle a choking situation. It's the foundational skill set every first responder needs. The logic behind this campaign is what makes it so genius, really. It's so simple. It starts by using a platform that already reaches millions, driving schools. Then, it just integrates one essential skill into that training, basic life support. And the outcome? Every year, a new generation hits the road not just with a license, but with the actual ability to save a life. And driving schools are the absolute perfect vehicle for this change. I mean, think about it. An incredible 90% of drivers and riders all over the world get their training from these institutions. It's a near universal thing we all do, which makes it one of the most efficient ways you could possibly imagine to teach an entire population a vital skill. So this isn't just some nice idea floating around on paper. It's actually becoming policy. It's making real waves at the highest levels of European government as the momentum for change keeps growing. Right now, Europe's kind of split on this. You've got countries like Austria, Germany, and Denmark that have already made this training mandatory. But then on the other side, you have major nations like France, Italy, Spain, and the UK that still haven't. This divide is exactly what the campaign is working so hard to eliminate. In all that advocacy, well, it's working. In what is a really critical step forward, the European Parliament has officially included mandatory CPR training in its position on the new driving license directive. This is huge. It moves the idea from just a campaign goal to a potential continent-wide law. And the road ahead is actually getting pretty clear. So that parliamentary position was secured in 2023. The next major milestone is the formal adoption of the new directive, which is expected around mid-2025. After that, member states will have about 4 years to implement the new rules, which means this could be the standard across the entire EU by 2029. All this progress is fantastic, but it's not the end of the story. The final and maybe the most important part of this whole equation is you. So let's talk about how you can become part of this life-saving movement. It really just boils down to this simple contrast. On one hand, you have an untrained bystander facing a crisis, a moment of helplessness. On the other, you have someone with the skills and the confidence to step in and act. This whole initiative is about turning those moments of helplessness into moments of hope by creating more people with the training to act. So, how can you be a part of this change? It's simpler than you might think. First, learn more by looking up the Learn to Drive, Learn CPR campaign. Second, voice your support for making this a standard in your community. And most importantly, you don't have to wait for a lot of change. Find a basic life support course near you and get trained yourself. So we'll end with this thought. The very next person whose life is saved after a sudden collapse on the street, well, they could be helped by a brand new driver. The question for all of us is, are we ready to make sure every single one of them has the skills to do it?